Going on, Tide Nation? This is yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine and host of In My Own Words. I'm live here on location in the studio here in Pelham. And I know for a lot of you out there, there's been some concerns about for us not having a live show on Wednesday, of course, not having one again on this evening. The reason for that was one of our own, John Ivory, suffered a death in the family, lost his mother earlier this morning to cancer. So our thoughts and our prayers are out to the amazing producer, John Ivory, that's our guy's family right there as he continues to grieve the loss of his mother. So just wanted to come on here and just to give you guys an update as to why, we did not go live on Wednesday and not going live with the live show on Friday just due to John Ivory and the loss of his mom, our outstanding producer, where that is concerned. But I want to come on here to talk about this Mississippi State game and how big it is and how important it is for Alabama football. Now, I know a lot of us were angry, we were upset, we were highly frustrated, we were disappointed by how the matchup went against Texas A&M at Kyle Field and College Station, losing 38-41. But despite the anguish, despite a lot of things, at the end of the day, you look at Alabama. This is still a team that has its postseason dreams, its postseason aspirations still in front of it when you discuss competing for an SEC championship, playing for the college football playoff, and playing for the national championship. So a lot of its postseason goals, dreams still ahead of it, still in front of it. But the question that U.S. fans and I myself want to know personally is, how does Alabama respond from this? And I already see you guys coming in. Appreciate you guys. Absolutely appreciate Naomi for her thoughts. Prayers up to John Ivory. Appreciate my man, Senator Hines. Coach Smoot, prayers up to John Ivory, his entire family. Absolutely the outstanding producer. No live show today, Naomi. No live show. My man John, grieving right now with the loss of his mother. Our prayers are out to him and his entire family. But right now, we are actually bringing you this live right here for me talking about the importance of this Alabama-Mississippi State game right here. But like I mentioned, it's about how do you move on from this moment? How do you move forward? How do you respond? And that's kind of been the statement all week from Coach Saban to these players is, you got punched in the mouth. Appreciate that from BG. Prayers to John Ivory, absolutely. When you get punched in the mouth like that, and when you haven't suffered a loss in almost 2 years, how do you respond to that? How do you bounce back from that? Especially when you have young players going back to the 2020 class that came in here, and those guys, and they played a role on that championship team. Appreciate William Morris, aka Bill from New York, with those thoughts to my man John Ivory. Appreciate that, Bill, coming from you. But getting back to when you have guys that, before I get into that, the Bama Standard family is praying for him and his family. Appreciate that, Justin Riley. Naomi says it was a slap in the face for us. Absolutely. And when you look at the 2020 guys in particular, when you have, Will Anderson, who played a role, on that team. Anderson had 10.5 tackles for loss last year, 7 sacks, 8 quarterback hurries. You look at Malachi Moore, who had an impact on that team, led the team with 3 interceptions. Appreciate every last one of you guys with the condolences to John Ivory. He appreciates that. His family appreciates that. Thank you so much there for rolling those in, as well as chatting with us here on this live. But when you have young guys that came in 2020 and they played roles on this team, and a lot of these guys come from high schools where they never lost a game. They never lost a football game. They come from high schools where a championship culture was made, and whether these guys were winning state championships or national championships, they never suffered a loss before. They don't know what a loss feels like. They don't know what a loss looks like. They don't know what a defeat sounds like. So, and then they come to the University of Alabama, biggest brand name program in college football, and you go coast to coast going to, a national championship. Sometimes when you enter matchups like this, of course, in your mind, you think, nobody can touch us. Nobody can run with us. Nobody can challenge us. Nobody can, be next to us. Of course, those thoughts creep into your mind. And even with Coach Saban, he may say, guys, we still need to clean this up. This needs to improve. That needs to improve. This needs to get better. That needs to get better. You have players that say, well, coach, we winning. Coach, chill. Coach, chill. We winning. We winning. We running. We running. Chill, man. Chill. But when you have that, and then you don't have, those older players kind of ringing those guys in line, then you get situations like what happened against A&M. You take that first loss. And now those eyes are open to, man, now I see what coach is talking about. Man, now I see why other players in the team go so hard. Man, you become all the more sensitive to, I got to do this right. I got to do that right. I got to do all of these things the right way. Now, the good news is that this week, Coach Saban talked about it on Hey Coach. There was a player that, we're not taking calls tonight, William. I'm sorry, we're not taking calls tonight. We're not doing a live show. However, you can chat right here on the live that I'm conducting right here from the phone. And once again, our thoughts, prayers, and condolences go out to my man John Ivory in the loss of his mom. So we're not taking calls tonight, but you can definitely chat right there. You can definitely donate right there. You feel led to. We can definitely have the conversation right here on this live. But just going back to my thoughts on Coach Saban, he mentioned on Thursday that a player actually stood up in team meetings, y'all. A player actually stood up in team meetings, and he challenged the team. I don't know who the player was. It may have been Will Anderson. Coach Saban didn't say. It might have been Brian Robinson. It might have been Fedarian Mathis. I don't care if it was the dude from My Name is Earl. About time somebody got up and challenged this team. The player got up and said, hey, guys, look, what are we doing? I came here to play Alabama football. I came here to play to a standard. I came here to play to a winning culture. I came here to win championships. I came here to continue to build upon the 14 years of players that have laid the foundation for us. And those guys that guy challenged the rest of the team in saying, are we really playing Bama football right now? Are we really holding ourselves up to a standard right now? Are we really, doing this right now in terms of being the team that we need to be? And it's about time somebody got up and did it. It's about time somebody got up and said it. Once again, I don't know who the player was. In my opinion, it doesn't really matter who the player was. Somebody had to say it, and it was needed to be said. Thank goodness that somebody said it, because this needed to happen. This needed to happen. Somebody had to check it. Somebody had to keep it in line. Appreciate my man Bill from New York. Appreciate the $5 donation. Absolutely. Absolutely. In regards to John Ivory, absolutely. Plow Jogger 1776 writes in, is there an address we can send a card to John Ivory? Plow Jogger, there is. Hit me up, Plow Jogger. I could probably get you that address. We could send John a card. Cliff Reese writes in, roll tide to everyone, prayers to the Ivory family. Absolutely. Absolutely. Justin Smith writes in, all of that is great, but to be honest, I'm tired of the lip service week after week. I want to see it done on the field. Justin, I want to see it done too. I want to see it done on the field too. I want to see it done on the field too. And this is the reason why this game against Mississippi State, we're about to see what is this team made of. We're about to see what this team is made of. Appreciate Spencer Revley for the $5 donation. Spencer, my dude, thank you. Thank you, and thank all of you guys for your condolences to the Ivory family, my man John Ivory. Appreciate the love coming from all of you. We love you guys, absolutely. Love you guys and what y'all do here and supporting the show, supporting John, supporting everybody in the TDA family. But I want to see this done, by this team. I want to see this done by this team. I appreciate my man Sean from Brooklyn. Sorry for the loss to the family. It goes to my man John Ivory. Appreciate Sean Murphy there for those thoughts. But this is the week where we see what this Bama team is made out of. And it's crazy how it has to be against Mississippi State, right? But this is where we are right now. This is where we are right now. This is exactly where we are right now. Gotta go out there and show this team, what this team is made of. And all week in practice, Saban has talked about it. It's been a good week of practice. It's been a firm week of practice. Guys have been editing practice. That's cool. But can we see this from start to finish, 60 minutes on the field? It's one thing when you have Will Anderson, who's incredibly passionate, very emotional. He's been talking about football needs to be the main thing. It's good when you have, other players kind of step up and say these things, but it's got to be done. It's got to be executed on the field. I appreciate Justin Riley, the Bama Standard, with that $9.99 and the donations right there. Appreciate the love coming from my man Justin Riley. But like I said, it's got to be done on the field. It's one thing to talk it, but you got to produce it now. Because for 14 years, we've seen the All-Americans. We've seen first-team All-SECs. We've seen national champions. We've seen Heisman winners. We've seen guys that have been drafted early in the NFL venues. When they wore that script A, it meant some of those guys. It meant some of those young men. It meant some of those boys. Absolutely. It meant something to those guys. So you got to see, who does it mean something to for this team this week? My man Bill from New York says, Stephen, lots of folks on the page want to know more about the Tide. That said, our outside linebackers need to step up. Absolutely. Outside linebackers need to step up. Bill, I agree with you. Inside linebackers need to step up. Secondary's got to step up because Mississippi State, that air raid, Mike Leach wants to stress a defense out. He wants to stress out the linebackers. He wants to stress out the secondary. He wants to stress those guys out. So for the linebackers, they got to be on point from start to finish. They got to be on cue. The secondary, they got to be on cue from start to finish. The big thing, tackling in space. That's the big thing. Wrap up and tackle in space. Appreciate that $4.99 from the president of the Blue Wrench Gang, my man Waylon Colburn. That $4.99 from him. Appreciate it, Waylon. Showing that support there. For my man John Ivory. Thank you, Waylon, for that $4.99 right there. Mardavis Thomas writes in, replace 79 Owens, not only the linebackers. Like Chris Owens, good kid, but it's time to go to J.C. Latham. Absolutely. It's time to go to J.C. Latham at right tackle. If not J.C. Latham, look at Pierce Quick. Look at Kendall Randolph. Look at somebody at that spot off the right side. Absolutely. D. Pickett writes in, I wonder how many PIs the DBs will get. Hopefully none. Hopefully none this week, D. Pickett. Hopefully none. I mean, when you've got Nick Saban and when you've got Jay Valai and Charles Kelly coaching you out there in that secondary, you got to trust that technique. You got to. You got the technique. The coaching staff has taught you this technique. You got to play to it. Let's see, Plow Jogger. Appreciate that $5 from Plow Jogger in showing that support for John Ivory and the Ivory family. Appreciate that, Plow Jogger. Let's see here. Job needs to step up for sure. A lot of y'all talk about Josh Jobe, and this is for real. Job's got to bring his A game. Job has got to play clean football. He's got to play clean football out there on the edge, not just on receivers, but him tackling also. Because like I said, Mississippi State, what they want to do, they want to catch these little short dink and dunk routes, break tackles, and break big plays. You have got to break down, wrap up, make plays. Break down, wrap up, make tackles this week. Absolutely. Absolutely. Stephen, please keep us posted about our goal. We know the daily super chat goal is $75, but the $75 if we're going live, daily super chat goal. But tonight, because we're doing this in honor of my man John Ivory and the loss of his mom, just whenever you can donate or help out, showing your love and appreciation to John will be greatly appreciated there. But I'm on here just to simply give you guys, my thoughts on Alabama, Mississippi State. Travis Williams writes in, play the younger guys more, they show more effort. We've got a lot of people, Travis, who've been asking, where's Kool-Aid McKinstry, right? Where is Marcus Banks? Where is Terrion Arnold? Where is a lot of these guys? Where are a lot of these guys in terms of the young players? I got a chance to talk with Reuben Foster the other day, and Reuben spoke on how under Kirby Smart and Jeremy Pruitt, they ran 3 to 4 plays. They ran 3 to 4 plays, but they ran those 3 to 4 plays to perfection. And that's what made that defense so scary. Pruitt and Kirby didn't bombard the defense with so much information. They ran 3 to 4 plays, but they ran those 3 to 4 plays to the T. They ran those 3 to 4 plays with excellency. They ran those 3 to 4 plays with dominance, and that was the reason why you saw those guys like your Reuben Fosters, your Tim Williams, or your Ryan Andersons, your Jonathan Allens, your Ashawn Robinson, your Jaron Reeds, your Deron Paynes. That's why you saw those guys have that much success. Your Dylan Lees of the world. You saw them have that much success. Why? Because, not only was Kirby and Pruitt, rocking with those boys, and they earned their stripes, and they earned their keeps, and they earned the respect of those players. But also, when you look at it, those guys allowed those defensive players to just do what they do. Whether it was come after the quarterback, it was do what you do. Whether it was attacking the run, it was do what you do. They did not try to bombard these players with so much information. And talking with Reuben Foster, he said, Steve, they gave us 3 to 4 plays and then let us run. They gave us 3 to 4 plays and we ran those 3 to 4 plays to absolute perfection. So could there be a situation where, Pete Golding is putting too much information on these guys? Probably. More than likely. But at the end of the day, it still goes down to something that Mike McCoy mentioned, former Alabama wide receiver, 2009 national champion. It's energy and effort. Going back to my man Spencer Rev, we appreciate that $10 donation from Spencer. Appreciate you, man, helping out with showing that support here. I mean, our guy, John Ivory, here on this show. Appreciate all the love coming from all of you guys, donating in, writing in, liking the live, liking the feed. But, with you guys, it's, what do y'all want to see this week, honestly? What do you guys want to see this week? What do you guys want to see this week? Going back to Reuben Foster, my man Bill from New York. Reuben's fine. He's rehabbing. He's trying to get back on an NFL team. Foster's fine. Just trying to get back here on an NFL team. But what do you want to see this week against Mississippi State? What do you want to see? Because Saban said something on Thursday. He said, we're not an elite team. Nobody views us as an elite team anymore, especially after, last week. And for Saban to take what Chris Doering, former Florida wide receiver and current, there we go. Hold on. There we go. And we're back in. And we're back. Here we go. We're back here. So that's what I was saying. Chris Doering basically talked about how if you think Alabama's elite, you're a clown. And here is Coach Saban saying, maybe we're not, an elite team because we're not viewed as an elite team anymore. So this is Saban putting on his master motivator hat, master motivation. So we're going to see what this team is about this week. We got here Willie Beeman. My man Willie Beeman writes in, I want to see the linebackers set the tone. Absolutely. I want to see the linebackers set the tone. Groon D writes in, we need Moody in the middle. Right. Need Jalen Moody. Need him. Minute, people. There we go. There we go. Got the camera back up here. Got the camera back rolling here. But back in here, I mean, I know you guys have a lot of thoughts here, a lot of topics, a lot of conversations. Continue to keep those thoughts rolling here on the live. Continue to keep those thoughts rolling here on the live from my phone here. Appreciate the 39.98 in the chats here. The love being shown to my man, John Ivory, in the loss of his mom. Appreciate everybody helping us out here on the show. Let's see here, D. Pickett. I want to see some glimpses of that 2016 defense with intensity. We've got here coming, 94 needs to be benched. This comes from Keith Lyon, talking about DJ Dale, Justin Riley. I want to see players being dogs, absolutely. Tom Red, the only dogs play at Georgia, not trailing a special defense squad. Georgia's got a good defense. Georgia's got a good defense there. No senior leadership coming from Jim Gallagher right there. I want to see bad intentions by the defense. This comes from my man Eddie Mixon here. And Op Ant writes in, they need to bench DeMarco Hellams and let Kool-Aid get back there. A lot of people have been asking about Kool-Aid McKinstry. You're not the only one. So many people have been asking, where is Kool-Aid? Where is Kool-Aid? You know, 5-star, came in the spring. Saban couldn't help but talk about him all throughout the spring. Had a really good summer. Where is Kool-Aid? Why is he not on the field? Jim Gallagher writes back in, you can't sleep on anybody in the SEC West. You can't. You absolutely can't sleep on nobody. We've got Stephen Murray, 19, writes in, Trey Sanders. I want to see Trey out there. Saban has said so many good things, so many positive things about Trey. He has mentioned how hard Trey has worked, how dedicated Sanders is. So I don't understand why. Is it the fact that if Sanders is having issues with pass blocking, that could be something? Is he having issues with, not being engaged with the ball, not in his hands? That could be something. But if it's not neither of those two things, I don't understand why Trey Sanders is not on the field more, because Saban has spoke on how much he loves this young man's fight, this young man's passion, how bad he wants to be on the field. So honestly, I really do not know. Appreciate Andre with that $5 donation. Appreciate that, my man Andre helping us out here on the show. Spencer Revley, have they had that players-only meeting? They have. I think they've had a players-only meeting. They've had a team meeting. And now the team meeting was where Saban talked about the players stood up and challenged everybody on the team. And that was with Saban in the room. So they had a players-only meeting. What was said at the players-only meeting, I'm not sure. But if I had to take a guess at it, Spencer, it would have to be something along the lines of, we got to get our act together. We have got to get our act together. We have got to get our act together. That's got to be something that's been said. We got Nick Saban Jr. writes in, want to see Branch at free safety, that being Brian Branch. He's a natural free safety. He is. Natural free safety. He's not a star. He's not a slot nickel corner like a Malachi Moore. Brian Branch is more so a free safety. He's an Eddie Jackson, Minka Fitzpatrick, Clinton Dix, Robert Lester, track the ball type of safety. That is what Branch is. Let's see here. D. Pickett, Will Anderson was upset in the interview. He was, because Will wants to win. Will Anderson wants to win, and he wants to be dominant, and he wants this defense to be dominant. And you can feel the passion in Will's voice. You can feel the passion in Will's face. You can see the want to. He wants it. The question is, who joins him? That's the question this week. Who joins Anderson? As bad as the sophomore from the state of Georgia wants it for this team, wants it for this defense, the question is, who joins Anderson this week? He takes this so seriously. He bleeds it. Who wants to join that young man? And we're going to figure out that answer, hopefully, this week. Justin Effort writes in, what is Quandarius Robinson's status? He's back on the team. He was suspended 2 games. He's back on the team. He is the backup long snapper, but he's back on the team. I mean, he's back at the linebacker. He's back, so he's here. Let's see. My man, Roll Tide and Rise Up, that $25 donation. Appreciate that, Roll Tide, Rise Up, helping out the man, John Ivory and the family. Thank you, Roll Tide and Rise Up, and all of you helping us out on the show, showing love to everybody. Appreciate that, Roll Tide and Rise Up. It seems like, here we go. So Willie Beeman writes in, seems like Will Anderson belongs with Jonathan Allen and Reuben Foster. It seems like it. It seems like it, but Will came in this generation of players. So he came in this generation of players. So he's the one trying to, get these guys perked up and flying right, man. He's the one trying to do it. Appreciate you, Roll Tide and Rise Up. Spencer, another $5 donation, helping out John Ivory and the family. Spencer, we appreciate all of you guys, all of you. Continue to chat in, write in, donate in if you feel led to. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Appreciate William Morris, man. Thank you. Thank you, man. Appreciate my man Bill from New York supporting the $5. Appreciate Cliff Reese, man. 84.98. You guys have hit the super chat goal, which we would usually have on a Friday and on every show, and as well as support my man, the baddest producer, the best producer in the game, John Ivory, my brother. We love you, man. We love you, John. We appreciate you, John. Let's see here. Tackling too much. Let's see here. Plow Jogger, Alabama Nation coming through. Absolutely, Plow Jogger. The Bama Nation is coming through here. Arm tackling in the secondary. Right, Jim Gallagher, right. Wrap up. Bring your body. Bring your hands. Bring your feet. Wrap up. Form tackling. And what's crazy is they go over this drill every day in practice. I mean, they go over the form tackling drill, the ankle tackling drill every day in practice. We got to see that in the actual game. We got to see that consistently in the actual game. You can't be sitting there, grabbing at air. You got to bring your body, bring your weight, bring your power, and form tackle here. I see Tom Reed. I do think this is Georgia's year. No disrespect here at point. All things point to, Georgia here. Georgia's got a good defense. Georgia and Kirby Smart, they have a grand defense. They do. Not second guess them. The Bulldogs have a defense. But this week, when you look at Alabama as fans, what do y'all want to see? This is y'all's moment. This is y'all's time. The opportunity for you guys. What do y'all want to see this week? Let's see here. Battle didn't have a grass stain. Battle didn't have a grass stain. Oh, Jordan Battle didn't have a grass stain. Woo, man. I'm telling you, gotta wrap up and tackle. Gotta wrap up and tackle this week because Mississippi State, they're going to come in with that air raid and they're going to want to throw the ball all over the field. Will Rogers, their quarterback, is much improved, leading the SEC for completion percentage. He is leading the SEC in passing yards. He's third in the SEC for touchdown passes. They're not going to run the football. They may test the middle of that defense a little bit, but they're not going to really run the football. They're going to throw that ball, and they're going to sling it around the field. We score enough points to win. We have to get sacks from the outside linebackers. We don't have a great nose guard at this point. That's coming from William Bryant there. Chris Newton, zero pressure on the quarterback at A&M. Didn't get any pressure from that front line. Absolutely, Chris, no pressure at all. So you got to have the outside linebackers making plays with Will Anderson and also Chris Braswell and Dallas Turner. Hopefully, if a tie will get Drew Sanders back soon. And I really hated for that young man because he was starting to grow at that outside linebacker position. He was getting better and better and better and better with each passing game. So I really hate that not having Drew on the field this week, but hopefully the young man should be back soon enough. But this week for Bama's defense, it's tackling space, not allowing those yards after contact, not allowing those yards after after the catch there. Let's say OP Ant. Bryce needs to run more, help the line out. Bryce Young could run more. Bryce Young could run more, but with Bryce, it's a situation that I don't know if he's being coached not to run. That's probably, an issue right there. Or it could be a situation where he really just wants to throw the ball downfield. He can run. He can run. Absolutely, he can run. But I don't know if he's being coached not to run or he just chooses not to run. But hey, we shall see there. Appreciate that other $10 donation coming in from Spencer. We're at $94.98 here in the donations. Appreciate all of you guys helping us out tonight. $94.98 here in the donations. Do we see LeBron, Ray, and Burrows more? We need to. Bama needs to. You gotta keep fresh bodies rotated on the line, D. Pickett. I agree with you. LeBron Ray, when he's been out there, he's getting some of his confidence back. Jamil Burrows, we saw him last year making big plays. Bama, we heard all offseason. Bama 7 to 10 guys rotated on that defensive line. Got to keep rotating those 7 to 10 guys in there. We gotta see those guys. We gotta see that depth. We can look at here. Mardavis Thomas writes back in, Christian Harris taking over the defense, being a leader and a dominant factor. It is time for Christian Harris. It's time. He said it to start the season. He was running the defense. This was his group. It's time for Christian Harris. We haven't seen him all year. We haven't heard of him all year. It's time for the young men in Louisiana to be bout it. From Baton Rouge, it's time for him to be bout it. And he's got to be about it starting this week. Absolutely. David Turnage writes in, the inside linebackers need to step up big time. The play calling on offense and defense needs to be better. Absolutely. Play calling on offense needs to be better. Play calling on defense needs to be better. Linebackers need to step up. It's time to look at somebody else at right tackle. I agree with all of these points here being made. I know somebody said they were late to the party. He joined late. What was the issue with John Ivory? The thing was, our man John Ivory here, outstanding producer of In My Own Words, the show right here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The issue was John lost his mother this morning to cancer. She passed this morning. And our hearts go out to him. Our condolences go out to him, to his entire family, because he's very, very close to his mom. And our thoughts go out to him right now. I see here any hot rumors on players in practice this week. Not really any hot rumors right now, Plow Jogger. I wish I had some, but with the COVID stuff, haven't been able to get back out there at practice. My man Hank Bragan, that $50 donation. Appreciate the love from Hank Bragan coming in with that $50. $144.98. Appreciate the love you guys are showing to John and the entire Ivory family right now. Absolutely. Let's see, Keith Sawyer writes in, I don't get it. We've always rotated our D-line, the coordinators and the team. We'll get it together in the second half of the season. I think Alabama has a chance to get this together, but it's got to be able to. It's got to rotate the defensive linemen. It's got to have these guys stepping up. It's got to have these older players stepping up, and it's got to have these young players all the way bought in. And the guys that need to be on the field need to be on the field. My man William Bryant, that $50 donation. Appreciate the love from William Bryant, my man out of Iowa. Thanks to all of you guys helping us out here on the show. Chris Newton, that $50. Appreciate Chris Newton helping us out here. Y'all are pouring the love out. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to all of you. When will Drew Sanders come back? Drew Sanders is on a game-by-game basis. It could be next week. It could be the week after. Just comes down to how confident he is with his hand right now, because he suffered a hand injury during the Ole Miss game, had to have surgery on his hand. So it comes down to how comfortable and how confident can Drew Sanders play, with his hand at this point. But hopefully between either next week or the week after, Alabama will have Drew Sanders back on the field, because clearly it misses Drew out there on the field. $244.98 in the donations. Appreciate everybody. $44.98 helping us out. If 79 is in the game, Bryce Young better run. referring to Chris Owens, man. love Chris, but you got to look at a J.C. Latham. You got to look at a Pierce Quick. You got to look at somebody else there, at that spot, at that position. Is J.C. Latham going to get a chance to start at right tackle? He needs to. I mean, his ceiling is incredibly high. It's unbelievable. When you discuss the freshmen who have started at Alabama on the offensive line, whether that was Cyrus Quanjo, Cam Robinson, Jonah Williams, Jedrick Wills, Alex Leatherwood, Evan Neal, we've seen freshmen start on the offensive line and be dominant starting on the offensive line. So got to look at J.C. Latham at some point. Now, Owens stepped up last season because Owens was at center and replacing Dickerson. He stepped up last year because he played at that center role, replacing an injured Landon Dickerson when he got hurt in the SEC title game in 2020. Now, however, Chris Owens held that spot at center down the stretch of the spring and in the summer for the most part, but then he lost the job in fall camp. He lost the job in fall camp to Darian Dalcourt. So right now, they've got Owens at right tackle, and he doesn't fit that. Chris Anglin writes in, feed 4. Boom! Give it to B-Rock. Boom! And I don't know why Bill O'Brien did not do that enough, especially in the red area against Texas A&M last week. But you're seeing the brother, back-to-back 100-yard games, back-to-back games meeting business, catching the ball out the backfield also. Chris Anglin writes in, number 1 has been balling also. Jamison Williams has been. Now, the one thing I want to see from J-Mo is catching the ball more consistently with his hands. At times, Jamison Williams tries to body catch the ball. It's a habit, but catching the ball more consistently with his hands and also consistently blocking, because if you go back to Ruggs, Judy, Smith, and Waddle, they were unselfish blockers. They weren't necessarily big guys, but they put all of their weight in blocking, assisting their fellow teammates down the field. And that's why you're seeing not many of Alabama's slant routes, not many of Bama's bubble routes, not many of Bama's dink and dunk routes going for big plays. Why? Because you're not seeing the blocking, the selfless blocking being done by the receiver. So you have to pick that up there. Tons of drop passes in the A&M game. Absolutely, tons of them. And you don't see that from John Mechie. You don't see that from Jaleel Billingsley. Cameron Latu, my boy, kicking himself because he doesn't normally drop a touchdown pass. He don't normally do that. So tons of drop passes last week that should not have happened here. Let's see. Real Pro MT2 writes, Mississippi State could win if Bryce Young struggles with the cowbells. Bryce Young actually went down there to Florida and he played well. He went down to Kyle Field and Bryce played well. What has Saban said all offseason? He said all offseason, we've got to play well around Bryce. It's not the quarterback. We got to play well around him. And that's the protection of the offensive line. It's got to be consistent around Bryce. The receivers, they have got to consistently catch passes. When Bryce puts the ball right there on you, you've got to make that catch. You've got to make that grab. Bryce cannot throw the ball and catch the ball himself. This ain't Madden. This ain't NCAA college football video game. If Bryce is putting the ball on you, you have got to make that catch as a receiver. Saban spoke about it all offseason long. We've got to play better around the quarterback position there. Let's see, Jamison Williams has so much versatility. He's amazing to watch. Absolutely, William Beeman, he's got incredible versatility. He can play inside, he can play outside, he can return kicks. It was a godsend getting him from the portal out of Ohio State. My thing is just when you look at him, what I want to see going forward for Williams is consistently catching the ball with his hands and blocking a bit more also. Appreciate my man Spencer Revley with that $5 donation. Again, helping us out here tonight on the live. D. Pickett, is Saban playing the best players? That's a good question. That is a good question. And that's the politicking question of the day. Is Saban playing the best players? To be honest, there are some guys he should be playing right now. There are some guys that are not playing that should be playing. Jalen Moody should be playing more. Kool-Aid should be out there. Marcus Banks should be out there. Terrion Arnold should be out there. There are some guys that need to be out there and not out there. Ja'Cory Brooks, after seeing this brother block a punt against A&M, Ja'Cory Brooks should be out there. Asia Hall should be out there. Other guys should be out there on the field. Nona Davis, appreciate that $10 donation from Nona Davis, absolutely. Tim Smith should be out there more. Absolutely. Eddie Rembert, Nick appears to be favoring his seniors. He favors the loyalty. You're right, he does favor the loyalty. He wants to see his older guys step up. I agree with that. And it's good to want to see your older guys step up. But when you have these young bucks on the team that want to be out there, that want to ball, that want to succeed, that want to have that success, that crave being out there, you got to put those young guys out there and deal with the growing pains. Sometimes you got to put those young guys out there and deal with the growing pains. If a young guy wants to be on the field, if the young guy wants to make plays, if the young guy wants to have an impact, sometimes you got to put the young cat out there and just deal with what the situation is. I mean, if it's a good. If he has some growing pains, if the young players have a mistake, coach them up. Have them learn from it. Have them learn from it. Let's see here. Spencer Reveley writes in, Wayne and I will always have our families back. I absolutely appreciate Spencer Reveley. Jim Gallagher writes back in, I saw Drew Sanders in high school. He's the real deal. And Drew Sanders was playing big ball until he got hurt. And looking forward to seeing Drew come back. Looking forward to seeing Drew get back on the field. Kool-Aid needs to play. You got to get him out there. You got to get Kool-Aid out there. You got to give these young players a shot. Sometimes you got to give them a shot there. Kool-Aid needs to play. Job and Davis aren't good. Armour Davis is actually not bad. It's Job that I'm concerned with. Armour Davis could actually play. It's Job I'm concerned about. Because you get hit with the pass interference every game? Every game? I understand there's some ticky-tack things, but every game. Let's see here. William Bryant writes in, I want to see the second string as strong as the first string, but change out players from time to time. True. Get the depth out there. Get the depth on the field. Put the depth on the field. Gerald Vickery writes in, our D got a jail, play fired up. That's the key right there, Gerald Vickery. Play fired up. Play with your hair on fire. Everybody is doubting you now, Alabama. Everybody is saying you are no longer an elite team. Everybody's saying you're no longer an elite program. Where is the fire now? Where is the fire now from this Alabama team? And where is that fire going to come from aside from Will Anderson? That's the big thing. That's the big thing. It says here, my man Bill from New York writes in, our O-line needs to punish people. If we win the coin toss, I want to receive the ball. Right. Offensive line needs to punish people. We need more dogs on defense. I agree. Need more dogs on defense. My man Sean from Huntsville is in here. Appreciate Sean from Huntsville dropping in here. Chat with us here on this live on a Friday. Yours truly, Stephen M. Smith, Touchdown, Alabama Magazine, just giving, my thoughts on Bama, Mississippi State, but wanting your thoughts as well in this matchup. Bulldogs 3-2 on the year. They got a 3-3 stack type defense. They're going to create some pressure to Bryce Young. What are you trying to see from the offensive line? And then defensively for Alabama, you're going to get up against this air raid offense of Mike Leach. And what you got to do here in that matchup, as far as defensively, getting to Will Rogers, limiting these receivers and the big plays that these Bulldog receivers can make. But what are y'all feeling this weekend? What do y'all want to see happen this weekend on the field against Mississippi State? Let's get some more comments here George Timmerman writes in, must play smack mouth. Got to play smack mouth football. Got to get back to being aggressive. Bama's got to get back to being aggressive. This is on both sides. You got to get back to being aggressive in terms of the defense, players being angry. You got to get back to the aggressiveness of the offense playing angry. You got to get back to when you see the run game working, continue pounding the ball on the ground. And then you got to have that confidence in the play calling. You got to have the confidence in the play calling. And that's the biggest question. Are the players confident in what Pete Golden is calling out there on the field? I don't think they are. I don't think they are one bit. Let's see here. Eddie Rimberg writes in, Bolden doesn't deserve to start ahead of JoJo Earl. Bolden is a security blanket type of guy, but JoJo Earl is way more explosive. Absolutely. Let's see here. Run the ball. Sorry, Lane. Bill Brown. Gerald Bakery. Hey, run the ball. True. Run the ball. True. Run the ball. Let's see here. Perhaps Ed, but Bolden does have a definite role. Absolutely. Bill from New York does have a Slade Bolden has a definite role here on this team. Jimmy Clay, that $10 donation. Appreciate him helping us out here on the show. Tom Reed, come on, Bama. Mississippi State is not good at all. I mean, that's what folks said about A&M. A&M not good at all. And look what happened there. A&M got the win. You can't take nobody lightly. You can't take nobody lightly. Mike Leach and this board, I'm going to tell you something. Two teams that have always played Bama tough, hard-nosed. You go back to the South Carolina teams with Steve Spurrier. They always played Bama tough. And then you go back to the teams with the Mississippi State teams. They always played Bama tough. Mississippi State likes to blitz a lot. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. Jeremy 6 writes he likes Leary over JoJo Earl. Leary's good. Leary's fast. Leary's got speed. Leary is actually the emergency running back right now. Sean from Huntsville writes in, this offense doesn't use max protection, so they won't be able to double wheel a lot. Interesting. Mississippi State does not use max protection, so they will not be able to double Will Anderson a lot. So Will Anderson can have a field day. Appreciate that thought there coming from Sean from Huntsville right there. There we go. Let's see here. Willie351. Willie351. I'm late. Why the show look like this? Well, Willie351, the answer to the question is we're doing the show live like this because of the fact that best producer in the game, our producer, John Ivory is not in. Ivory, mother, lost her fight with cancer this morning, passed away this morning. So our thoughts and our prayers are out to John as he, copes with this situation, he and his family. And so because of that, I'm on here doing this live, just trying to, get your thoughts here on the game as I'm giving my thoughts here on the game. But, my heart, my prayers are definitely with John Ivory and the family, absolutely. Let's see. Eddie Reinberg writes in, heard Bryce Young say in an interview that black quarterbacks were always thought about as runners, so he's always been focused on being pass first. I can see that, and I thought about that. I thought about Bryce, being that pass-first quarterback. I thought about that, and nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with proving that you can throw the football consistently, but at the same time, I would just like to see just a little bit more of Bryce being able to pull that ball and run with it, though. I mean, you don't have to make big plays with it, but pull the ball down, get you some yards, slide, protect the body, or get out of bounds. Just create some type of wrinkle where you force that defense to account for your running ability if you are Bryce Young. But, hey, it is what it is. Appreciate even Tom Reed as a Georgia fan in here. Appreciate all the thoughts here from Tom Reed. Willie Beeman, great to see everybody in here. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, Willie. Great to see everybody in here. Bryce needs to keep the chains moving. Plow Jogger, you're right, needs to keep the chains moving. NIL may play a factor on the field. Let's see here. Hank Bragan writes in, where is Wheaton? Kamar Wheaton is not medically cleared to play yet. He had a meniscus injury, a knee injury before the Miami game. He is not cleared to practice yet. So there you go. He's not cleared to practice yet. That's on Kamar Wheaton. Let's see, David Turnage. As bad as Bama played last week, they were still up by 7 in the fourth quarter, so it ain't over. Right. As bad as it was, Alabama still had a chance to win that game. And like I said, sometimes it takes a loss to wake you up. You don't like losing. Nobody likes losing. I hate losing. Nobody likes losing. Nobody likes losing. But sometimes it takes a loss to wake you up. Sometimes it takes a loss to register, like, I got to get something right. I got to get something together. Like, we got to clean this up. And you become more sensitive to doing things the right way when you lose. Like, because when you win, it's why I need to fix this, why I need to change this, why I need to improve this. Like, we winning, like we running, like we dominating. Why do I need to improve stuff? But when you lose, it's, dang, I got to improve something. So, I mean, that's why I think Bama's going to be back on the right leg this week. Defense has been a big disappointment coming from Paul Malone. Yeah, it has been. I mean, especially when you look at, before the season started, the conversation was this was going to be one of the best defenses in college football. It was going to get back to being a strong defense. And it looked that way on paper, but Saban talked about it. Don't have the leaders that we need to have, and you're seeing that now it's time for those leaders to get right. They need to get right. They got to get right this week here, starting this week right here. James Knox writes in, Bryce and wide receivers has to connect on play action if the run game is on. You got to hit on those play action passes. You got to hit on play action passes. The timing's got to be right. The timing's got to be right on those passes, and these receivers got to catch the ball. You got to consistently catch the football here. We got Travis Williams. I wouldn't mind seeing more of Moody. I wouldn't mind seeing more of Jalen Moody either. I would not mind seeing more of Jalen Moody either. He's been in the system for 4 years. He's waited his time. He's vetted his time. Put him out there on the field. He knows the complexities of this defense. As a matter of fact, he would work better now in this situation than Henry To'o would. I know Henry T is a better athlete, but Moody knows this defense. Moody knows this system. Moody knows this culture. And then plus, Moody's a 3-star thumper. This is what he does. He's a 3-star thumper, and you need that guy with that edge to him to get in there. And Moody's got that edge. He's got that edge. Moody come out the mud out of South Carolina. He come out the mud out of South Carolina. You need to get Moody out there, on the field. Let's see here. I like to see some Bratton, Paul Malone. I mean, Jackson Bratton, a young man from Muscle Shoals area up there at North Alabama. Jackson Bratton's pretty good. Bratton's pretty good. It's how far has he grown within the team. I know he's out. I believe he's out there on special teams a lot, but it comes down to how much he has grown within the team. Saban needs to use Moody if he's loyal to the seniors. True. Put him out there. Put him out there. If this program's about waiting your time, following the process, your time will come, then Moody's time is here. Like, put him on the field. Every time you've put 42 on the field, he's made a big play. Every time he's put on the field, he's made a big play. What defensive position do you think is our weakest spot here? Good question there, Gerald Vickery. As much as I would like to say corner, I would have to say nose tackle right now is the weakest spot. DJ Dale is a good kid, but he is not disrupting anything compared to what Cody did back in the day. And guys like Quentin Williams back in the day and Deron Payne and Barmore last year. And compared to what we've seen in years past, players being disruptive from that nose guard position, blowing stuff up, having to make guys account for those guys, and giving other guys on the team one-on-one situations to have success getting to the quarterback, Dale has not done those things. He may flash one time, and then you don't see him the rest of the game. He may flash one time, you don't really see him the rest of the season. And, this is why you need to see more of Tim Smith on the field. This is why you need to see some of Jamarian Latham on the field. This is why Jesse Williams, good point, Jimmy Clay, Jesse Williams used to be a monster out there when he played. So compared to guys like that, Dale isn't fitting that moniker. He is not fitting that moniker. So absolutely, Travis Williams, the entire defense does need to step up. The entire defense needs to take ownership of this team. Steven for defense. No, plow jogger. No, plow jogger. That's too, plow jogger. That's too much stress on your boy, man. Me, DC, defense. No, not me, DC. That's too much stress. That's too much stress, man. That's too much stress. Nick Gentry was a dog. Marcel Darius, Jaron Reed were dogs, absolutely. The plow jogger, that's too much stress. I am incredibly flattered, plow jogger. But that, to me, DC, I like doing this. I like doing what I'm doing right now, engaging you guys as fans. Get Pete Golding out of there. Yeah, that's been a cry for a lot of U.S. fans. Get Pete Golding out of there. I gotta ask why Saban didn't ice the kicker at the end of the A&M game. I don't know why Saban didn't ice the kicker. That's a good question. I don't know why Saban didn't pull that. Eddie Rimbert, I'm thinking secondary. If you need a first down, just running a cross route, automatic pass interferences. Secondary doesn't need to pick it up there. Where are our 5-star outside linebackers? I mean, my man Bill from New York. You've got Anderson out there as a 5-star. You've got Braswell out there as a 5-star. Dallas Turner, but Braswell and Turner young. Their first time in these moments, they have to grow. And I mean, this is why losing Drew Sanders hurt. This is why losing Christopher Allen to start the season hurt, because Will Anderson and Chris Allen together, they were killing quarterbacks, killing them. I mean, Chris Allen took a lot of pressure off Will Anderson. And you were starting to see, prior to the injury, Drew Sanders was starting to grow to where he could start to take some pressure off Will Anderson before he got his hand injury. So now you're down to, Braswell and Turner, and they're good, they're talented, but they're young. And this is their kind of on-the-job training. And they have to grow within this on-the-job training. David Turnage, why can't the cornerbacks turn their heads around and face the football? Man, people have been asking this question, David Turnage, since the beginning of time. People have been asking this question since the beginning of time. Why can't the cornerbacks turn their head around and face the ball? I remember personally the Georgia game in 2015 where it was raining and Georgia was picking at Marlon Humphrey all game. And they threw a pass near Marlon, and Eddie Jackson screaming, "Turn your head now!" And then Marlon turned his head and got the pick, and Eddie's like, "Yeah!" We've been wondering this for the longest of time. The technique applied. The technique applied. And if you don't know the technique, or if you don't trust the technique, get somebody out there that does. That's why y'all have been clamoring and calling out, where is Kool-Aid? Where's Kool-Aid? Where's Banks? Where's Terrion Arnold? Where's this guy? Where's that guy? You got to be able to turn your head around and face the football. This is going to negate these pass interference calls that are plaguing this team. Jagan Armour-Davis has been hit with one or two of them, of those PI calls. And I know sometimes they do have their head turned and they're just jocking with the receivers there, and the flag still gets thrown, and those flags shouldn't be thrown. But more times than not, the guys are not having their head turned around to face the football, and that's got to improve this week. I mean, you guys have been lighting us up here with questions, with thoughts. I appreciate the donations, guys. $274.98 in the super chat. I mean, if I was to show this to John Ivory right now, my man would be crying right now. Just the outpouring of love, the outpouring of support that you guys are showing my guy right now in the loss of his mom. Appreciate everything coming from you guys. Let's hear Scott Jackson. When I was a kid playing football in the neighborhood yards, I turned my head to look for the ball. I mean, hey, I did too, bro. I did too. When I was in the backyard, I turned around too. But it's different from the backyard to actually on that field, but still, you got to turn your head on that field. Some people are counting us out, Steven. Can you let these people know? I mean, Eric D., this is where Bama's at its best, though, when people count them out. And that's why this game is going to be so big. This is when Bama football is at their best, when people are counting Bama out, when people are having Bama down for the count. This is when Alabama football is honestly at its best. And this is why there are times where it's good when Alabama's not the #1 team in the country. Because now, you can really be that hunter that you want to be when you're not the #1 team in the country. Appreciate Jimmy Clay, that $50 donation, helping us out here on the show. Appreciate the love from Jimmy the Batman Clay. All of you guys helping us out here. Really beaming, it's so crucial to turn your body and locate the ball, right? It's important, crucial. Locate the ball, turn your body, catch the football. Be in pocket, be in the hip pocket of the wide receiver. And when you see that receiver's eyes get as big as the moon, turn your head and catch the football. In 2015, everyone counted us out after losing to Ole Miss. I remember that. You had that article by Dan Woken, the dynasty's over. Dan Woken with that article, and what happened? Bama was able to get that thing done. Appreciate Eddie Reinbert helping us out there with that $10 donation. Appreciate Eddie Reinbert right there. Let's see here. Alan Burns, if we don't change how we are, we ain't done losing. I do agree with that, Alan. You got to improve. You got to have that fire, and it starts this week. Bama's got to have that fire in them, and it starts this week. Here in practice. Micah Young, I love CO, but it's time for him to go. Isn't he almost 30? Isn't he almost 30? Man, hey, you wrong for that, Micah. You wrong for that, man. But it's just not his position. Right tackle is not Chris Owens' position. He's a center, but while Darian Dalcourt's at that spot, it's just time to look at a J.C. Latham or somebody else there at that position. Steven, as a kid in Queens, we played flag football on cement. Full contact. Oh my gosh, full contact. We intimidated the Alabama Wishbone. we intimidated the Alabama Wishbone. That's crazy. My man Bill from New York, we played flag football on contact, on cement. Hey, Bill, you hardcore, brother. You hardcore. You playing flag football on cement? You hardcore. Couldn't have been me, man. Appreciate all of y'all helping us out here tonight on the show. As I'm about to wrap this thing up here, y'all, on this evening, but I kind of want to ask this question. What is y'all's score prediction for the game? Who is the offensive and defensive MVP? What is y'all's score prediction for the game? Who's the offensive and defensive MVP? Appreciate James the Great, baby. James the Great with that $4.99 in the Super Chats. Appreciate Willie351, that $7.77 here in the Super Chat, showing the love. Absolutely, this is for John Ivory. This is for his mom. The loss of his mom. We with you, John. We with you, John, my brother. We with you, my man. We are with you right here. Let's see here. We got We got William Morris, 42-10 Bama. 42-10 Bama is his prediction. D. Pickett writes in, why do players play differently on defense when they become seniors and juniors? That's a good question, man, because when they freshmen and sophomores, they be cracking heads. When they freshmen and sophomores and they become juniors and seniors, you know what be happening to them half the time. Eric D., 48-13 Bama. Andre, 42-17 Bama. Will Anderson for MVP. William Morris, but my man Bill from New York's got MVP, Bryce Young and Will Anderson. Allen Burns, 27-13 Bama. Will Anderson MVP. James the Great, 45-21 Bama. Offensive MVP, Bryce Young. Defensive MVP, Will Anderson. Roll Tide, rise up. 45-10 Bama. Plow Jogger, 48-38 Bama. Scott Jackson, 42-17 Bama. Willie 3-5-1, then timed out again. Bama. Real Pro MT2, Bama 31, State 17. MVP will be Kool-Aid. Okay. Let's see here. Just win, baby, from Jimmy Clay. Stephen, retract my timeout on him. Wrong line. It's okay. I will try to. I'll try to because Golden had time to coach them down. Will there be a live chat for the game tomorrow? Live chat for the game, we'll have to see. Not sure, but definitely we'll see. We'll see, James Knox. We'll see. Now, I know I'll be going live from Starkville tomorrow. So I'll be going live from Starkville, so check that live out. I will be going live from Starkville on tomorrow where the game is concerned. So check your boy out. Yours truly, Stephen M. Smith, TDA. I will be going live from Starkville. We got Run the Ball here. Love your enthusiasm. Scott Jackson, appreciate it. Rhett Russell, 42-17 Bama. His MVPs, Bryce Young and Will Anderson. Definitely Plow Jogger. Continue to send the prayers of condolences to my man, the big John Ivory, head honcho. We love you, man. We love you. What time, Stephen? Me going live from Starkville. I'm going to get there at about I should get there at about 3. So 3:30, I'll try to go live. I'll try to go live at 3:30 from Starkville. Wear your earplugs. I will try to do that, Jimmy Clay. I'll try to do that. Oh, we got Real Talk, 66-0. Bama got a woo! Real Talk, 66-0. Give it that. Hopefully that can happen. Now remember, Bama actually got a shutout last year against Mississippi State, 41-0 at Bryant-Denny. So if it wants to put another shutout, now would be the time. But folks, this is yours truly, Stephen M. Smith. Touchdown Alabama Magazine, man. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for helping us out. Thank you guys for showing the love to my man, John Ivory. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. You guys take care of yourselves. See you guys in Starkville. We'll be getting that live up. But for now, hey, y'all enjoy your night. We'll check y'all out next week.